Welcome to the game between Magnus Carlsen and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. The game was played as a part of Gashimo Memorial in Azerbaijan in 2015, and Magnus started with this King's Indian attack, which brings his bishop to g2, and after that, it results in an immediate castling like this. So, this is a positional game in which Magnus plays beautifully to deliver a check. So here the knight just retrieves and this pawn move of e6 is played to protect the pawn over there. And after that, d4 is played by Magnus, and this particular pawn get reinforced, and Magnus Carlsen's on the king side. And after that, Maxim just tries to the castle himself, and Magnus pushes his pawn forward, and Magnus now positions his rook. So he's trying to bring his rook forward and then plays e4. Now the e5 move is played, pushing the knight away. So now the knight jumps forward, and now both of the players have just done with their opening moves possibly. Now here, what happens now is that after this knight move, this bishop on g5, Magnus bishop on g5 is attacked twice and not supported at all. So here, if Magnus takes back this knight, he will lose this bishop, or he will just lose a pawn basically. So that's how it is like. But instead of moving back or just accepting the knight, Magnus plays this brilliant move, and Maxim just accepts that particular sacrifice, and Magnus just brings his queen forward and with a check. So the check is closed with the bishop to g5 move actually. So actually you could just play this pawn move over here right away if you want to, and this bishop is gone anyway. So but that didn't happen. Magnus just accepts this knight, and once the knight is gone, the king had to move away because with the king here you could still play this move. So once the king goes away, Magnus pushes the pawn forward to h4, and now the bishop retreats, and now this knight get a reinforcement from the other knight of it was on c2, and this extra attack on the queen. Magnus just retreats his queen to f3, and after that the bishop goes to protect the pawn on h6 square, and Magnus bishop protects the knight again, and the bishop is now just moving forward and trying to attack this particular pawn over here. So after the bishop got exchanged for the knight, and the pawn move happened. So instead of so Magnus just accept the pawn. So now the rook comes in trying to accept the pawn over here. So to counter it, Magnus. So once the rook comes here, the queen goes over here, attacking both the rook and also the pawn over here, because the pawn have two attacks. It's only supported by the queen once, but there are two attacks here. The bishop move was precisely done for that. So that's how far Magnus was thinking. So instead of retreating the rook, Maxim just support his rook, both the rooks. Now the rook battery is formed, and now Magnus, instead of immediately attacking the pawn over here, Magnus just brings his rook attacking this particular pawn, because once these rooks move away, or once this queen goes away, queens get exchanged, this pawn is hanging basically now. So to avoid that, this bishop move was played to support that particular pawn, and after the queens got exchanged for and Magnus is better by a pawn, and the knight comes in attacking this particular pawn over here. So the Magnus moved his rook, which allows this move, and after the exchange of the check, king moves away, and the bishop goes and the knight goes up towards the bishop, and which this pawn move basically allows the rook to be stationed here, because this pawn here was not allowing this outpost for the rook. So after the king moves away, the knights and bishops keep jumping forward and backward, trying to get the best position basically. So here, once the bishop move, you cannot take this uh, free pawn, because once you take, the knight can jump here, creating an attack on the knight, and on the rook and the knight at the same time, but the rook cannot go here to support the knight because of the pawn over here. So you cannot take that particular pawn. So instead, Maxim just move over here. And now this knight move, what happened is that now this particular rook cannot come back here attacking this particular pawn or on a2. So after that, this rook is now free to move. And once this pawn is supported by the f3 move, the rook started moving around. And now since after now this after this knight this pawn is now hanging basically. So that pawn got hit again, accepted, and now this allows the rook to attack the a2 pawn. And now here the rook is here, and the bishop is here. Now if you accept this particular piece, that is, now you can play this. So earlier you cannot just play this because you could still play this with the check on the tempo and accept the knight, but his idea was to queen. So this knight is gone now. Now there is an attack on the bishop, so you cannot take out the rook from here. So, but here you can just move here. Basically, if you take the bishop now, the check will happen, and this rook will be gone in the next move. So that didn't happen. So the king moved. Now this silent looking move was played by Magnus, and after so Maxim was trying to queen his pawn, which is obvious. But after this particular move of Magnus, he just resigns, because after this there is no stopping a checkmate, because even if queen, the check will happen like this, and there is only one space for the king, that is here. And after this check, you cannot go back and take this pawn because of the rook support, and you cannot go up because of this pawn again, and this square is controlled by the rook, and other squares are controlled by the pawns and the king as well. And actually this pawn over here acts in favor of Magnus, avoiding the retreat of this of Maxim's king, basically resulting in a checkmate. So that's how this beautiful positional play happened. So if you haven't subscribed or followed us yet, please do so. We'll be back with more such videos. Thanks everyone.